Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Alexander Jarvis from alexanderjarvis.com, and we'll be going through the marketplace financial model now. This is the sixth video that we have, and we're going to be going through a very important sheet in terms of your costs and the people who are building your startup. It's called the staff sheet. If you haven't watched the control sheet, make sure you do that. But the first thing we'll be doing is be setting, are you going to decide to use the detailed or the basic version of this sheet? We'll look at the basic version first, and then we'll go back and we'll do the detailed version. So now we've changed the setting to basic, and let's just, for specific purposes, turn on both the support staff, which is customer care and customer success, and the sales staff, assuming that you're going to acquire people on the supply side. You need a sales team for those. So now we'll go into the staff sheet. Sorry, the detailed one has been grayed out, and basic one is highlighted. So we're going to hide the detailed version. We're going to open up the basic version. So the first assumption that you're going to see is payroll, taxes, and benefits. So I've rolled everything into one number. If your numbers are different, you can change average salaries potentially to accommodate for things, but just for simplicity purposes, I've put one number which links to all the other salary related numbers. And effectively, if you're going to pay people, $5K, and you have 20% extra, well, then you can stick another grand on top, and so you're going to pay them $6K a month instead. Now that we've done that, which hopefully you know what it is, you're going to add in new staff. So when you add in new staff, you add 1 or 5 or whatever. If there's no new staff, it's 0. But the model is going to add those people up. So 2, 1, 5. So now you have existing people. So we have G&A, R&D, S&M, main OPEX buckets. Now you want to add in existing people. So now if you have, so in the sales staff, if you have salespeople already, you'll have existing sales capacity of 150 suppliers per month on the basis of this, okay? And so here we see existing sales staff capacity. This is the existing one that we already have, which is coming from this sheet here. It's one person. So you add your existing current account execs on the supply side here. So if you had one in the sales and marketing, you're going to delete it and you're going to put them here because that's the existing capacity you have for your sales. If you are not using this sheet, then you set this to 0 and you're going to ignore this and you're going to turn the control sheet, the sales staff, to off. And so if you have these people and we're going to hire new ones, they'll automatically be added here. They're all coming from links. Now, we have in marketing sheets, it goes on to sales and marketing, we're going to have channel sales staff. So if you have people who are managing channels that you have, or partnerships, however you want to think about it, those people will be calculated on that sheet and they'll automatically be added in. So we'll see here on the demand side, this is a channel for us apparently. We're adding 2 people here, I'm adding 1 people here, and they get added in to the total number of staff that you have. So we see 3 plus 5 plus the one that we have here already equals 6. So now this is going to calculate what our total existing staff are, because that's why we're adding 1, 1, 2, whatever, not aggregate. And we're going to add in how much they cost us. And to make this as simple as possible, we just use average salaries. So if you spend on average 60,000 for G&A people, maybe you're on 100, maybe, I don't know, mid-level people are on 50, the average could come out on a weighted basis to 60 or 70 or 80. I don't know, that's your problem. So put in the average number. Again, this is the basic version of this sheet. If you pay people bonuses, what is the average bonus you're paying? If you don't pay bonuses, you just delete it, you suddenly see that their salaries are going down, right? Now, there's a point in time, if you want, you can opt to increase their salaries. Say you're paying people a small amount now, 60K on average, and then when you hit your Series A, you're going to increase that salary because that's what you promised them. Then, you think about the point in time in which you're going to fundraise, and then you're going to put in that date, which you're going to increase it, and how much you're going to increase it to, and the model will automatically then increase the salary on a rolling basis. And there's only one point in time which you can do that for the purposes of this model. Then you can put in the average costs again for the automated staff, sales supported people, your supply demand side channel staff, your customer care, customer success staff, both on supply and the demand side, again, if you're using them. And then the model will automatically calculate what the bonus calculations are, which is based for your accruals and your actual bonus payments here, which calculation is done. And this is all done for you. You don't have to think about it. It takes what your year end is from your formatting sheet, so 8, and it will pay people out on the 8th of that year, whenever that time period is. So month allocation, a yearly payment, here's when it's going to happen. Okay, now we've got other related sort of staff related costs, and so we have onboarding. So every time you're going to hire someone new, it's going to cost you $4,000. Again, at a period of time, maybe Series A, Series B, whenever you want, when you start spending more money, you're not as tight, you can increase that. So maybe they get a free iPhone or something. But office chairs, laptop, whatever it is, on average, my onboarding cost is $4,000 for G&A people. So if you see it 8,000 here, that means you've just hired 2 people. Now, general cost per staff, you can add in whatever else you want, okay? I've just put a catch-all. So what are the other related costs you can have? On average, I don't know, G&A people travel or something, so therefore they get food allowances, whereas your developers get half the amount because you want them wired in the desk just doing work all day. And so when you have people, you'll have costs for them. So we're not having developers clearly here for a while. If you've got any other costs, you can type in the title, and then here you can allocate them to G&A, R&D, S&M, COGS, CapEx. Laptops, chairs, whatever, that's CapEx. See, CapEx is here too, but here you can reallocate whatever costs that you want to. If you want, you can also add in rows here as needed. Again, this is a simple version of the sheet, so kind of the assumption is you haven't really thought about things in too much detail. Frankly, with the boxes I've given for you, you should be able to compute for everything. And then you get the total. These will end up getting added into the summary sheet up the top, which you'll see has a lookup function to decide which numbers to show basis on the detailed or the basic version. So right now, this will be showing the basic versions. Now, if you want to then use the detailed version, you're going to go back to the formatting sheet, control sheet, sorry, I lied. And we're going to set this to detailed. Now we go to the staff sheet and we'll see that the basic one doesn't matter anymore. We don't care. And we're going to have the detailed version, which this summary is going to be linking to as a driver, which then links to all the other sheets. Basically, the same thing applies, it's just more detailed, okay? There's a lot more rows. So we'll see our familiar friend, payroll, taxes, and benefits. Again, still one number, but we can see here fundraise according to P&L. So that means that we're raising 6 million at this period of time. If I've told people that we're going to increase their salaries at that date, because of that, I'm going to be like, what is column O? Column O is month 7 or July 20. So you could put in the increase date of July 20. Just, I don't know what, July. So you see here, automatically, because of that increase date here, and the increase in salary, the CEO, boom, boom, goes from 585 to 8775 per month. If you don't want to increase people's salaries, you delete them. If you want to increase your salaries, you type in the salary, you couldn't type in the increase date. All right, here you can put in people's titles, you can type in whatever you want, you can put in the name, whatever, Alex Jarvis, all right, Jarvis, CEO. When does it start? Well, if he's already on payroll, I put it in. If you're going to hire people in future, so we see, peeking out here, we're going to hire a HR manager on the 20th of September. Sorry, the 1st of December 2020. Just type in 1 month date. Don't be typing in 13th or whatever. It just makes it simpler for the model. Just the month they're going to be coming in. If you fire people because you know, for example, you've been using this as an operational model or the plan to be contract for 6 months, something, you can type in the end date. So you just type in, okay, the guy's joining in November, I'm firing him in December, so he's going to be there for 2 months. Salary. Now, first automation that we're going to see is I've built a little one for recruiters. So, in my experience, at some point in time, you're going to have to hire recruitments to deal with looking for people, good quality people. And so if you need to hire more than 5 people in a month, or say more than 1 person in a month, we'll see here, they pop up because we're hiring 1 people. That means you need to hire a recruiter. If you need to hire 10 people a month and the number is 5, therefore you need to have 2 recruiters. One thing to bear in mind is once you hire a recruiter, you don't fire them immediately. If you're doing that, that's called headhunters, and you pay them a fee for that. But once you hire people, the model assumes you're not just going to hire and fire every single month. So people are not going to pop up, pop out. Once there is a recruiter on the sheet, all right, you don't need recruiters because we're not hiring enough. Here we do. Okay, at some point in time, it says here we're hiring 5 people, but it's not for a long period of time, so we need more people. You're just basically going to have a recruiter there, hire 5 people on the payroll for the rest of your life. Bear in mind, it's an assumption there, but if you're going to be hiring hundreds and hundreds of people, you're going to need recruiters, in which case it's part of the business, okay? If you're going to be a small little company, not growing that fast, you know, you don't need it. You can set it to whatever, like ignore it. But it's going to be a new person that goes into your headcount. Also, now bear in mind, because I want to keep the model as relatively appearance of short as possible, you can add more people by ungrouping, okay? And you can add more people in if you want. Summary will pull them up. Just make sure the formula's kind of working right and that this will be taking summation of everything. But it's relatively easy to add rows in if you have tons and tons and tons of people. But I've hidden them just so that the sheet isn't so long to scroll through. So if you're an early stage company, this won't be a problem. You can do the exact same thing for R&D. There's no automations in here. Hire people, fire them, salary, bonus, increase point in salary. Title, name. Same thing for sales and marketing, except for we have automations, which you can see because there's no boxes here. These are calculated automatically in your, what is this, sales supported salespeople is coming from the sales staff. And your supply channel staff are coming from the very end of the sheet, which is your channel salespeople. And we'll see at the below, there's little calculations which happen to figure out when this pulls in, when people have been hired. It multiplies by the salary and adds them in here. Now, something you want to bear in mind is that, as I mentioned at the start, if you have existing salespeople, you want to type in or copy and paste this, copy, paste, all right, exact title because it's coded into formulas that you have people. So you have one person here, you put them in. You want more, put in the same title, and therefore in the sales staff, it's going to count for the fact that you already have existing salespeople. So if I change the hiring dates, you'll see that now suddenly we have people, okay, which get paid different amounts, whatever. Bonuses. So with bonuses, you want to be putting on target earnings, assuming that people hit them because we're making calculations, but we'll cover the sales staff in a specific sheet. But bear in mind, note, right, if you want to add in, you add in this title. Otherwise, the entire sales team, account execs, sales directors, sales development representatives, technical assistants, this block are all going to be automatically calculated. Channel sales staff are all automatically calculated. So typically here, you're going to put in your senior people, managers, whatever. But all the automated parts which scale depending on how much you go up and down your revenue, I've put into automated because then you don't have to keep adjusting for it, okay? We've got calculations below, which I hide away. And that looks cleaner like this. And so you see just the basics, right? So COGS, cost of goods sold, exactly the same thing. Customer care, success, both on supply and demand side come from your support, demand and supply side, and they come in again here. We can see who we're hiring. This times by this, number of people times by the salary at whatever period of time equals the cost, okay? And this is automated again, comes in. And then finally, just as we did before, we've got onboarding costs, we have stationary costs, we have travel costs, just a little bit more built out. What is the average cost per person? You can see the category that we allocated, CapEx, whatever, S&M, R&D, G&A, COGS. At the top in the summary, it does a Sumif function, right? Which looks for the title, okay? And so rather than me linking everything individually, I do a Sumif function, and it looks for that title, okay? So you see, you have CapEx, G&A, R&D, S&M, COGS, whatever, right? Here you can actually change them through the drop-down menu to whatever you want, okay? And then in the summation sheet, it is going to pull up, it's going to add that into those numbers. So if you want to add everything to freaking COGS for some reason, you can do that, and the calculations at the top are going to get, G&A will get smaller, COGS will get higher. So you can type in whatever you want. I've got random formulas in here. You can change these to whatever you want to be, so long as the summary makes sense and these are attributed properly through the drop downs. You can do whatever you want in these formulas, okay? What matters is how these are being allocated. Then I got a bunch of calculations, which was really fun to do, to calculate accruals of bonuses and when you're going to be paying them out. We also make adjustments for actuals, so you can see how much detail I've gone into here. So these are going to be added into the first time period here, get your total accrual, and that'll be paid out into your P&L forecast, into calculation somewhere, less annual bonus, okay? So 1369 goes in your staff sheet, 1369, see? Boom, bitches. And then we have charts, okay? These are all also going to be into the charts sheet, but you can also go down, make sure that everything's trending in the right direction, kind of looks like it makes sense. So there we go, guys. That is the simple and the detailed version of the staff sheets. So you go into the control sheet depending if you want the detailed or the basic version. You can start with the basic version if you want, just to kind of build up your knowledge and see how the model works, and then go full whack on detailed if you want. If you're early stage and people are not asking for lots of crazy details, use the basic version. If you want to think through things in a lot more detail, use a detailed version. That's up to you. I make the tools, you use them. All right, guys, bye. Keep hustling.